that's left that gets preferential treatment is Ben, and I mean he kind of deserves it, although I'm not too crazy about that. But besides that, that's it. Everybody else has to fall in line. At least that's what I think.
Right. Yeah. And I've talked about this at least on this podcast multiple times. Pittsburgh is infatuated with the past, and you can't bring up Mike Tomlin's name without having the Bill Cowher coach teams found the argument, and Chuck Noll wouldn't have allowed this and that. I think people would be really surprised to hear half of the stuff that went on behind the scenes, and nobody heard about it because there was no Twitter. There was no Facebook for players to post live videos on after and stuff. But to answer your original question, I think it's a little bit mixture of both, to be honest. I do agree with you. I do think it was primarily just those four guys. If it was anybody else other than those four guys, you would see it. You would recognize it by not only how they kind of act on the field, but how they act off of it as well. But I think it's gotten to the point where, not to throw any shade on Tomlin at all, but Pittsburgh is a town that expects Super Bowls, and he hasn't delivered one in now over a decade. So things need to change, and people are starting to get a little bit antsy. And I thought for sure, and everybody thought for sure, that Keith Butler would have been gone after this year. I saw no reason for Keith Butler to return after what we saw from the defense last year. But he's back. Mike Tomlin decided to bring him back, and I think all the chips have to be pushed onto the table now. I personally think next year's a Super Bowl or bust year for Tomlin, and I think if we don't see significant changes, I think you need to clean house.
Yeah, and Tomlin's contract is up, I think after this year or something like that.
That's correct. And historically, you see Steeler coaches' contracts get extended probably the offseason prior, or at least like a couple years. The Steelers they're shying away from that. They're gonna wait and see how things play out, and I do think that's the smart route to go. But Tomlin's job isn't as secure as a lot of people want it to be.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, we'll see. And I think, it's for the amount of talent that this team had, for them to be underperforming so much. And like you said, it's been about a decade now. And the thing that's always said, what the Steelers is, and the thing said against Tomlin is, he won with Cowher's teams. And to me, that's really stupid, but actually not really. Maybe he didn't win with Cowher's team players, but he won with Cowher's defense. And when that defense went away and they tried to replace it, they replaced it with, and they failed adequately replacing it. And that's the Achilles heel on this team. It's not the offense. The offense is fine. It's the defense hasn't been good enough. And so him, Colbert, whoever, somebody deserves blame for that.
Well, let's expand it. Dick LeBeau leaves in about 2012, 2013. Keith Butler takes over. And, the first 2 years I can kind of understand, like, the defensive struggles, just getting used to, a new system and, kind of like a new coordinator. Excuse me. But, like, after that, there's no excuse. We've had solid pieces on the defensive side of the ball for years now, and they've just never been able to put it together. Keith Butler, I don't know if you remember, but last year, during the first couple games of the season, there were times when the Steelers were running two different coverages on the same play. That's asinine for a professional football team with players that make millions of dollars, and for coaches that make millions of dollars, for that to happen. Something that doesn't happen at the high school level, the college level, even Pop Warner level. And let's talk about the talent on defense. Let's go to the draft where 9 times out of 10 their defensive picks don't hit. When are we going to start looking at the scouting department? When are we going to start looking at Kevin Colbert for drafting these guys? It's the good and bad part about football is that there's no singular person you can blame for anything. Everybody has their hand in, and that's what makes it the ultimate team game. So while the Steelers are, winning division titles and, making playoff runs, and that's all good, if they're coming up short every year and, we have a year like last year, we missed the playoffs, things need to be addressed. And by the looks of it, Joey, they haven't been addressed this year so far.
Yeah. It's we have a long way to go. We just have to survive the next 3.5 weeks, because that's by mid-March, then hopefully they'll have traded Antonio Brown and that nightmare will be over, because I'm tired of trying to interpret that dude's tweets and Instagram posts. It's hurting my brain.
Yeah, it not only him, but Le'Veon Bell too. I don't know if you saw his tweet today whenever he found out that he wasn't going to be franchise tagged. If he was tagged, I think all hell would have broke loose in Pittsburgh, to be honest, man. That, and if the Penguins start dropping games and Neil Huntington continues to be the person he is. So.
Yeah, that is interesting that they just decided, we're not going to tag you, just go away. Just we're done with it, because I think that one of the options was to transition tag him and possibly trade him, and I think they're like, just go. I don't care where you go. Just
yeah. I don't think Le'Veon's going to get the money he wants. He's rumored to be seeking around $50 million guaranteed in the first 2 seasons. Which Joey, Mark, write this down. If Le'Veon Bell gets $50 million in the first 2 seasons, I don't know what you want me to do, but I'll do something crazy. I'll do something asinine. It's just not going to happen. So I think they were just fine and simple with, hey, we have James Conner, we have Jalen Samuels, deuces. We'll get a 3rd round pick out of you. Have fun.
Did you see that pic that he posted of it looked like he was playing some video game, but right next to the video game, it looked like he's been rolling some things.
Well, somebody brought up that since he wasn't under contract for an NFL team, technically he shouldn't have been drug tested that entire time. So that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Right. And I'm sure all players, know when they can and can't do those things, but still, that's a horrible look for him, considering he's been suspended 1 or 2 times for marijuana use, and the next time he gets suspended, I believe, is a 4-game suspension, and here he is trying to get the contract of his life. If I'm a team saying, well, dude, if this guy still has a weed problem, how do we know he's not just gonna get suspended for weed again?
Right. Yeah, it's
real bad.
It was an interesting chess move by Le'Veon for sure. I think things will be better by by time preseason rolls around next year, and Antonio Brown will likely be gone, and Le'Veon will likely be gone, and I know it kind of sounds like I just bashed the Steelers for the last 30-40 minutes we've been talking, but they have a lot of really young, solid pieces everybody can get behind, whether it be James Conner, Juju, TJ Watt, Mike Hilton. It's a couple guys who are franchise guys, and they've proved it time and time again. So hopefully they can just get a few more pieces to build around them, and we'll be back to Steeler football.
Well, you just mentioned James Conner, Juju, and TJ Watt. Those were all from one draft class.
Yeah,
they could be one good draft from replacing all those guys and being set. And that's why I say, people are saying that the Steelers are crumbling and that they'll be horrible and the window's closed and all that stuff. They're just a few good, smart acquisitions from turning it all around and replacing it. And yeah, you're never going to replace Antonio Brown, but if you get another wide receiver that's, that can stretch the field, that could be a deep threat, that's all Juju needs, because Juju's not that fast burner, neither is James Washington. But if you could get that fast guy, then that'll help. And maybe get another tight end or something like that. So I think they'll be fine. They just have to have a really good off season, and we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see for sure. Randy Fichtner is in his second year as an offensive coordinator going to 2019. So, he's got a little bit of experience underneath his belt. It helps we have a 2-time Super Bowl champion as a quarterback. We have one of the league's best offensive lines. So I think we'll be okay, Joey.
Yeah. All right, man. Donnie Druin at Donnie Druin, writer for SteelersNow and Pylon Podcast. Thanks so much, man.
Yeah, it's always fun coming on here and kind of discussing the happenings of the Berg with you, Joey. So keep up the good work on the podcast, man. It's going great.
Thank you.
Everybody loves it. Everybody loves you on Twitter. Good.
Thank you. We're not on ESPN yet.
Hey, you'll get there. You'll get there with your new hockey segment, What the Puck.
Oh, yeah, I know. I still have to name the thing. I don't know. See, I was going to call it Icing the Donut, but that kind of just sounds a little dirty.
Ooh, you're right.
I forget what I'm going to call it. But, yeah. But What the Puck does sound pretty good. Maybe I will call it that. That's a good one.
That's what I'm here for, man.
All right, man. Hey, thanks a lot.
Hey, take care.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode. It'll be another Steelers episode. I welcome back regulars Coach Warzoo and Mark. And the funny thing is, before we recorded, we just vented for 20 minutes about everything going on, and it really wasn't suitable for recording. So that was actually way more interesting than what we did record. But anyway, that's tomorrow. Thanks again to Donnie Druin. Talk to you later. Another episode is in the bag.
Imagine there was a way you could get an extra 20% off already incredible prices at Kildare Village. Well, there is. Just sign up to Privilege, our rewards program, and you'll be invited to our exclusive private sale, where you can enjoy an additional 20% off at participating Kildare Village brands between 29th of March and April 7th. T's and C's apply. Sign up at kildarevillage.com and find something extraordinary every day.